Good afternoon, thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming. We're going to be doing another video. This one is on the Kittyverse of Madness. This is obviously a demo version, so it is still kind of early in production, but it's another kind of game similar to your Vampire Survivor or your Potato style game. Basically, where as you go through and you destroy stuff, you get some sort of currency, and then that currency is then used to get levels up. And then those level up gives you different bonuses to make your character stronger on there. So, we're gonna kind of go over this initial screen. There's a lot of things that are still not currently available due to it being a demo. So, for example, this Pet Zone incubator. This kind of goes over different elements. I haven't seen it particularly utilized, but I think just basically depending on what kind of conditions you're hitting them with. And we'll kind of go over that shortly too. It can cause different effects. So, for example, if you hit them with two different burn effects, it does like a damage over time. So they'll gradually take damage. I think it's like a certain percentage. Might be like a set number or a certain percentage of whatever the main damage was. Too cold will create ice. Increased damage taken by 30%. So basically, more cold will basically make all your stuff more stronger. So too green, decreased movement speed, stun for air, unable to move. And then, yeah, so if you kind of mix and match different things, so if you put your element with like I want to say this is earth, it'll create like a fire explosion and water, and then green to be a disease. Disease instinct kills less than 15%. And air explosion, AoE stun and damage. And that's kind of, and that might kind of make you choose to run certain types of elements or look for certain types of elements within your upgrades as well. Kind of just based on whatever you kind of want to work on. I'm not as familiar with that side of it, so there are still things I'm learning from that as well. Now, normally, I would probably go through and reset the game prior to this, but due to wanting to kind of give a little bit better of an idea of how the game itself actually plays, I figure we'll do this after we already acquired some stuff because it might take several games before you actually acquire enough resources to kind of start making stuff. But effectively, you get different choices of things. So the main thing is like you can choose whatever type of centerpiece you want. So let's say if we want to start with iron, this gives you 14 damage, but there's no perks or anything. This is what it gives you less damage, so 6 damage, but it doesn't take quite as much to forge something new. Or a stick, which is 2 damage, so it's even less. I mean, why the stick is... Well, that could also dictate what kind of weapon is used as well. Like, the type on this would be a staff. So if I go wood, it's going to be a bow. If I go iron, it's also a bow. So, that being said, you can choose what type of resource you want. So let's say if we wanted to use this iron here. Next thing we're going to do is look for the hammers. So there's a hammer here, here, and here. So if we go for bamboo, it's another 11 points of damage. If we go with the dwarf beard, it'll be 13 points of damage. Or animal pelt, which would be 11. So if we're just going to go for max damage, we're going to grab that one first. And now what you want to use on the tip. This basically kind of usually gives us certain elements. So for example, this one looks like it's just pure damage. Let's see. Oh, it's considered earth. Another one is this one, which is going to be a fire-based one. So in this case, we're currently making a bow with fire, so it shoots like fire arrows. This one is also earth, and that one is water. So overall, I don't think there's much difference in damage. And like if I want water, I believe this was also Earth or another Earth, but this one's a little bit weaker, or fire. So that said, we'll probably just go and make this bow, and we'll go and equip it. And that's basically how forging works. As you play through different rounds, you'll get different resources, and those resources can allow you to craft different weaponry. Um, so it does have a neat little system like that, where it gives you a little more customization. I'm sure you can find more better resources as you play through. This demo probably just gives a very baseline set of things. It's probably much more generic on that side. The center one's just to play a match, which we'll get to very shortly. And then if we go inside the cat here, these are all the different weapons we've created so far. So for example, it's just a starting bow. It's a water element, does 25 damage. And that's basically what they give you to start out with. Then I made this fire bow, which is actually a little bit weaker than a water bow, but it gives a different element of fire. So this one is a staff. So staffs operate a little differently than the bows do. Like this, I don't know if it's due to the fire part of it or not, but basically shoots out a little fireball with that fireball blast and does like an AoE damage. So we'll kind of show that one as well. Um, but yeah, so at this point we will go ahead and start with that. So basically we crafted a new bow, and that bow is probably our strongest weapon now. Um, so now that being said too, we do have a pet here, and then that pet does kind of help us throughout as well. Anytime you're shooting at the time that you're moving, you do slow down. So that is something to factor if you just keep running around shooting stuff, then you will be slower when you do that. So in this case, we could now remember since we were running different elements, this would add another water element. It basically is just this cat that just sits there and moves his tongue around constantly. Decrease projectile speed probably won't help us much until we start getting multi-shot, and increase magnet size. Will basically make it a little bit easier to pick up stuff. We may try to double down on water in this case. Um, also another thing is every time you go through and actually level up one of these, it will create it so that your additional ranks will give you more benefits. So like as you can see below this, the next increase will increase this kitten speed, attack speed by 20%. But later on, it does even more, so increases like kitten damage by 20%, attack speed, and movement speed scale with player stats. So, and this just increases movement, which is always good too. It's actually kind of a 50-50 here. Actually, we'll just take movement speed. So kind of another thing here, this thing basically bounces around causes fire damage. So like if we wanted a fire element out there, that'd be a way to get that done. But we'll probably just do base damage. I'm a big believer that more damage is always good in these style of games. We're also kind of getting to where more shots would be really useful at this point. I think that's where the staff usually can do pretty good as well. Because the staff just does AoE damage. Um, Increase reload speed. We also get a certain number of rerolls and banishes, so if we don't want to see something come up anymore. Because, for example, I don't think I want to do a standstill build. So we might go ahead and banish that. Increase rate of fire by 10%. Let's reroll once. So this is going to add another projectile. So it's kind of a toss between these two because adds piercing. And this puts an additional target, so we might grab the additional target for now. Then these chests, you can basically get other additional benefits. So in this case, that's how you get like resources like this, and you can also get ranks of things you've already collected up to this point. So I think it's another situation where more shots are good. Then fires a projectile backwards. I think would be a good one. Oh, let's see. I mean, this does boost both. Increases player damage by 10%, but also increases pet damage by 25%. Because you can also buff your pets as well. So I'll probably actually buff that because it also buffs me. Uh, well, these are pretty useful too. Um, I might do reload speed. Pathfire is one additional projectile. Might go and do that one. Now, anytime you see those banners, that means a new boss came out. If you don't destroy those banners, it will basically create like arrows that'll fire down at you. So you do kind of want to deal with them. Um, Increase damage by 10%. And increase base damage by 20. mean, this increases base by 10, but and 25 to, yeah, I guess we can do a step 2. More base damage, 1 additional. And of course, the chest gave us more resources. Some will be used for making stuff later. Uh, yeah, I think we just want to do more base damage. I just go with that one. I'm not entirely sure how strong our actual pet even is. But I figure since it's boosting us by 10%, while also boosting him by 25, maybe it evens out. Uh, yeah, I mean, since we already have him out, this can be a bigger boss fight here. Especially at the 5-minute mark. Then, as I was kind of mentioning before, you do kind of want to deal with those banners that come out like these. Why that kind of stuff happens. Fire rate by 25% and 10% for. Oh, fire's an additional backwards. That's good. Increase movement speed by 15%. Well, so there's a few different actions. May try to make our cats better. The corner cat's actually a pretty nice ability. Because if they get too close to you, then they'll do like a scratch and put earth on them. And they can kind of give it a bit of knockback and stuff, and it keeps you a little bit more safer close to you. So we could do reload speed, just make sure after we fire arrows, like it's pretty quick at this point. Increases fire rate and projectile speed by 10%. Your projectile spread by 20%. I'm moving for 5 seconds. 5%. Okay. Basically, I just want to keep moving. Well, then we can try the meow thing. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier as far as what sort of things, like if you get certain elements going, then those elements can start triggering different things. So as you can see, a bunch of skulls keep adding, coming up. So that means once they go to a certain health point, they'll just die um, because of the double ice. Increases side projectiles by 30% while standing still. That actually does help us. Backwards does 200% more damage, which actually is pretty good. We actually just read the boss there too. Increase sonic waves by 1. Now that's a 2. We are getting pretty close to the end here. Fires one additional projectile, decreases damage by 10%. There should be another boss now. I don't see him yet. Because normally you can usually see like a little circle underneath one of these guys. Increase sonic waves by 1, increases wave speed by 50%. I guess it probably doesn't matter too much. We have 9 seconds left. So, I mean, because I want to say this one just ends at 10. So, yeah. So that's an entire round. It is a little more difficult on the very first weapon that you use, whereas some of the more improved weapons, because we have one that's a bit stronger than the base one. So I think as you go through and craft better weaponry, it does make the game a little bit easier. Whereas it took me probably 3 or 4 rounds to clear it the first time because of different things of getting used to mechanics, getting used to certain enemies and how they work, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, so we'll do probably one more video after this, just going through with the staff. There wasn't too many of the things to test unless I come across like another type of weapon or something, but within the demo itself, this is kind of the extent of it. Is they kind of give you access to bows and they also give you access to staffs. But otherwise, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day.